Well, thank you very much. First of all, we have to realize that we are operating under a democratic system of government. By virtue of Section 43 of the Constitution, every Nigerian has the fundamental right to live in any part of the country, to acquire property in any part of the country. This is also guaranteed by Article 14 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Now, the entire provisions of Chapter 4 cannot be derogated from. None of the provisions of Chapter 4 can be violated or breached by the government without following due process. In other words, when it comes to demolition, there are provisions of the law in Lagos and the FCT, and indeed in all states in Nigeria. With respect to Lagos, you have the urban and regional planning law. In Abuja, you have the Urban and Regional Planning Act. Under both laws, there are specific provisions dealing with giving of statutory notices and bodies to entertain complaints. And if those complaints fail, it is the appeal committee that can order demolition. No governor, no minister has the power under the current constitutional arrangement or legal system to decide that Dr. Reuben Abati's house has not complied, or in the building of the house has not complied with certain provisions of the law. Therefore, I'm going to demolish the house. Nobody has such power in Nigeria. You have to go to court to say the owner of this house has violated the law. We want to demolish the house in line with the provisions of the law. And the court will look at it and say, please go ahead. But in the case of Abuja and Lagos, in the case of Abuja, there is a regional and urban tribunal set up by the government to determine when a house should go down. In Abuja, the minister he cannot usurp the powers of that regional tribunal, In fact, in 2017, the Attorney General of the country made rules and for the procedure that will operate in that tribunal. That tribunal is here. And is constituted by competent people in the building industry. Now, that body is not allowed to perform its functions. So it is illegal on the part of the minister to say, I'm going to continue to demolish houses. In fact, the illegality was taken to a very embarrassing level when recently the minister ordered or threatened to seal off 34 embassies in Abuja, or 34 buildings hosting embassies in Abuja, and I had to come out to warn the government against violating the provisions of the Vienna Convention. It does not allow you to collect ground rent.
All right.
Or taxes collected from citizens.
Oh, he hasn't responded.
And I pointed out that those embassies are extraterritorial. You can't move there and say, oh, because you have not paid ground rent, I will seal you off. No, you can't seal off a building in Nigeria without a court order. So, coming back to Lagos, in this particular instance, those whose houses were going to be demolished, those who were not paid compensation, ran to us, to our law firm, and we took their instructions and approached the Lagos State High Court. And the court saw the urgency and the need to preserve the rights. So on Thursday last week, the court granted an order. Thou shalt not do it until this matter will be properly heard. On Friday, the following day, certified true copies of the orders were served on appropriate government agencies and officials. But on Saturday night, in the dead of the night, bulldozers invaded Oworoshoki.
Okay.
And when I got information, I called government official. You cannot do it. We have served you the order.
Mr. Falana,